Hello and welcome to From Dreams to Reality, a Business Tale podcast interview series. I'm your host, Jerry Covella, and today I am joined by the amazing David Kryszcak, president of Spartan Digital, located in Deptford, New Jersey. Hey, Dave, welcome, my friend, and thank you for joining us. How about we kick off this conversation by you telling us a little bit about yourself and what is really an amazing business?
Well, Jerry, thank you, sir. Appreciate the invite. Happy that we were able to make this happen. I'm a really simple guy. I'm Dave. I'm a Scorpio, and I like to take long walks on the beach, and that's my life. But no, just kidding. Um, I am the president of a small company called Spartan Digital. Just under a decade ago, I started it in the website marketing and advertising space. And we help business owners of service-based companies with those issues as they face in their current day-to-day business.
Yeah, great, great. And I know we talked briefly before the start of our podcast today, but you really have an intriguing stories. New Jersey boy, went to Deptford High School, and then you had a vision, my friend. So still in high school, what happened there? Because I believe that's when you launched this concept.
Yeah, it was one, Deptford Spartans is our mascot, hence Spartan Digital. And there's actually quite a few Deptford businesses. You may know Rastelli Food Group. Ray Rastelli was also a Deptford guy. And Bill Hoffman, he's also a Gloucester County guy. Hoffman's Exterminating. All kind of take little hints from our alma mater. But when I was in high school starting this business, it started as it actually was going to be kind of an IT company, or what you would call now, like a managed service provider type, doing computers and phones and all kinds of stuff. But a really good one is a buddy of mine, his dad owned a plumbing business. And one day I get a call, and you know how plumbers are, they're kind of all over the place, a little sporadic. And he says, Dave, we need a website for the business. You're the computer guy. You can figure that out, right? I'm like, sure. Next thing is blah, blah, blah. How much is it going to cost? I have no idea. 5 grand. We'll do it in 5 weeks. And if you're not happy, we'll give it all back to you. So we hung the phone up and I said, how the hell do we do that? I just sold something that I never sold in my life, completely out of my comfort zone, completely irrelevant to anything that I had current skill in. But as I always joke with all my guys and my girls in the office, we'll figure it out, right? Learned how to do that. And as a musician in my past life, that was more of a creative way to express a business, just like playing a song um, through the internet. And that was 2015, 2016-ish. And now we're here post COVID as a full stack developer backed marketing agency. We do websites, we do social media advertising, we do graphic design, we do Google advertising, SEO, all that technical stuff. And that gap between then and now is filled in by a whole bunch of people a lot smarter than myself. That's all of our Swiss Army knives that we hire at Spartan, and happy to continue to tell those businesses stories using creative online methods.
What an intriguing story, my friend. So the plumber calls you and says, "Hey, Dave, can you build a website?" You say, "Yeah, I think that's one of my strengths." $5,000, 5 weeks later, you say, "Holy cow, this is interesting." I think this is what I'm hearing. So, was the business actually formed at that point, or was there this awareness like, I, I think I could do this full time? I need to build a business model to make this work. Tell me a little bit more. What was the transition point from you doing the website for the plumber to a point where, hey, this is a legitimate business and I've got some concepts I need to apply to make sure that this is not a short-term success, but a long-term success?
Yeah, so that's a good question. That's a good one. That website was more of a one-off kind of deal at the time because we were doing a lot of computers, very heavy IT, very nerd-backed stuff. But when we did that website, I was like, man, that didn't really feel like work at all. It was one of those completely irrelevant to everything we were up to. And I said, we have to figure out how to do more of that because that's fun. And we got paid, which was awesome. As we got out of high school, I went to Rowan University. I went for management information systems, which is computers and business all mixed together. And then followed that up with an MBA. And right in the middle of that was when we started hiring our first employees at Spartan. And during college, that's when we did the transition of we're just going to do websites, host them, manage them, take care of them. But in our world, I like to say everything bleeds very fast. So once the website's done, what's this Google thing? How do I rank on Google? Then it's, well, I have a Facebook page. Can you guys manage that too? And then it's, well, we just sold. Now we need to build a new brand, or we need a new logo, or new business cards. Can you guys help with that too? So as our clients came to us with more requests, we started building out that creative agency model. And I would probably say right before COVID was when I said, this is what we're going to do for the foreseeable future. We're not going to work for anybody. We quit all the regular people jobs that we had on the side, and we went full tilt into doing it on our own.
So one thing that also resonates with me, you use the word fun, and that discovery that you can run a business and have fun. I think that's lost sometimes in some businesses and within some business owners, right? I mean, they get into something and they lose the passion for what they're doing. You still having fun, my friend?
Yeah, it's hard. I have two number one rules.
Hmm.
Number one, gotta look cool. Number two, gotta have fun.
Great.
That's
Uh,
it. And there are our core values at Spartan on top of all, integrity, honesty, and all that good stuff.
yeah,
But that's just
yeah,
how we live.
yeah. If you're watching this, pay attention because fun is a key element of a successful business. So, Dave, thank you for that insight. Let's talk about some of the challenges of being a young entrepreneur. What were some of those challenges that you faced early on, and how did you overcome them?
How much time you got? Or do you want the ones from today? No, no, as a young guy, right? Human capital in a pre-COVID, post-COVID environment is, and a work-life balance is something that I didn't foresee being such a big topic when we started hiring people. But like I say to a bunch of people that are starting new businesses, I like to have my personal board of directors. And that's not people that have stake in your company and all that stuff. They're just, I have 4 or 5 people that I know I can call. They're at various stages of their lives and their businesses. They've already done, they've already solved this problem 47 times. So it's good to call and get all their opinions. So we were getting ready to hire our first employee. Called one of my buddies and I said, well, how's this all work? He's like, well, do you need an office? I'm like, I don't know. This was right before COVID happened, and I'm glad that he talked me out of it. We're hiring our first graphic designer. And he said, yeah, I don't know if you need that. I would ask them. I'm like, really? What? They're supposed to work for me. What do you mean? It's whatever the hell I want. He's like, you'll learn very quickly that it's the other way around. And it, checkmated me real quick. And the work-life balance and the culture at Spartan is driven by whatever the employees come up with. Like I said, we'd like to have fun. So it's driving that back into listening and dealing with your employees in a very manageable way, being the boss, but also being friends at the same time, because that culture and that drive is what's going to build that company. So now we've just hired number 11 at Spartan, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, and powerful words that you're speaking, the idea of this positive culture, empowering team members to be a part of the process, that all resonates as part of being a great company. You talk to the great companies that are out there, and if we are not providing and empowering our employees to enjoy themselves, be in a position to succeed, I think that's a struggle for a lot of companies. But it seems like you've got that formula down quite well. So let's talk a little bit about building your team. You started first with the graphic designer. How many people on your team right now?
We just hired number 11.
Wow. And some insight on the elements of your team?
Yeah, so an agency, we're everything that a typical agency is not. So we don't hire account managers, we don't hire overly technical people. I say at Spartan, we like to hire a whole bunch of Swiss Army knives. everybody kind of does a little bit of everything. Keeps the work balance fun, but everybody's got their specialties. We have web, we have graphics, we have very technical SEO people, we have ad specialists that we've borrowed from Facebook and Google and the like. So we've gotten some people from some pretty large companies to come work for a small firm like us because of that culture drive and their involvement in the company, and they really enjoy that.
Yeah. If you had to offer some words of wisdom to entrepreneurs who are considering bringing people on, enlarging their staff, what would you say is the key point that you would like to make to them to make sure it's successful?
Three major ones, I would say. First, make sure you're profitable. Second, make sure you pay yourself. And then third, make sure that you're comfortable understanding and sleeping at night that somebody else is going to eat on behalf of both of your work put together.
Hmm.
And if you're comfortable with all three of those things, then you're ready to hire people.
The trifecta of success, I'm hearing it.
Otherwise, a lot of entrepreneurs now, and they've turned it into kind of a sexy thing. Basically, you just buy your own job, which is fine. That's great. But when you have other people and other mortgages and all that stuff, I have all that math figured out in my head. And that's the number I look at, not sometimes not even our P&Ls and stuff. I'll look at all the employees and all their families and all that stuff. That's my motivator now. It's changed.
Yeah, and let's go a little deeper with that. Talk about the change. So it sounds like there was an original vision. Maybe that was more about the profitability thing. Not that we're taking away the aspect of profitability, but it seems that you reevaluated. Is that what I'm hearing? The
Oh yeah,
strengths? Yeah.
reevaluate every day. Yeah. The teams is what is going to provide that exponential growth. I can't do it all by myself anymore, but sometimes you get stuck in that loop of thinking that you can solve all your own problems,
Hmm.
but the problems become too large. So it's putting that trust in other people to act on behalf of you and your company and your baby. I mean, it's literally, I call it my kid, Spartan, all the time. Um, so it's that next level of, treating it like the LLC that it is, that it sits across the table from you and it has its own problems and its own issues. And you're just kind of puppeteering that most of the time as the owner. But as you hire employees, they're doing the puppeteering now. And we're just helping them be the most successful that they can.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you on that. So such a good point for others who are looking at team building. How do we make sure that we were fulfilling the obligations of every team member and not just our own? I want to kind of take a step back. Many entrepreneurs have mentors or sources of inspiration. Through your own journey, who's influenced you and how have they contributed to your growth?
I have quite a list. It's over 100 people, I'm sure, if I really reached and looked at every name. But just when I was young, a couple of our original clients, like our first, big wins in the client space, couple local business people that have exited companies, very successful, multi-hundred person IT firms, management firms, consulting shops. My competition, and speaking with them and sitting in the room with them and talking shop and talking pricing and talking all kinds of stuff. I owe all of them many a thanks. There's not really one person, it's quite a few, to shape me the right way and gamble with us, with Spartan at the time, and their trust in our business.
Yeah, for sure. So, and that's great. The idea of being aware and utilizing the knowledge of people around you to gain that additional awareness to make things better. That certainly resonates. And the idea of hundreds of people that influenced you, I think that's a wonderful model to follow. Anybody that's in business, the more we can gain from others, the more insight, the more powerful we become as a business owner. So let's take a look forward. You've built an amazing business, got some great clients under your belt. What's the future look like for Dave and his team?
Well, somebody just asked me what our 5-year plan is the other night, and right now we're just in grow and scale phase. It's nothing too sexy. We have a model, it works well, and we want to keep trying to double the penny. over the next 4 or 5 years. Potentially some M&A on our side, acquiring some competitors, and then we'll see.
Mhm. And we've certainly worked our way through some interesting times. You talked about launching pre-COVID, working through the COVID era, now in post-COVID. A lot of dynamics have changed in every business. Credit to you from what I'm hearing, how powerful you've become despite those challenges that have occurred. So, I guess one of the key points here is adaptability, right? What are we seeing and how do we make changes to ensure that we are still fulfilling our obligations?
Yeah. Our we exponentially grew because of COVID. Hate to say it that way, but that's the P&L reflects that. And that was because we became an option. Like, we might want to be online, to you're online or you're dead. Literally. That was, it was extreme change in the marketplace. All the other platforms picked up on that, the Googles, the Facebooks, the et cetera. And we were talking about before the call of how fast our world changes in the digital marketing and the web space. And it's that day in, day out of making sure that the trends are right, changing things multiple times a day, and that customer service piece of it from our side to our clients, that they're informed of what's going on. Part of our vision at Spartan is to change the way that people think about agencies because they come with a stigma, a very big one, and the education piece of what we're doing. As much as our clients want to learn, we will teach them. If they don't want to learn anything, that's fine too. We'll still do our job. But I think the ones that really want to learn, as we're growing with them, because it relates to their top line revenue, appreciate the fact that they're asking us all the right questions now based off of the years we've been working with them, and they know what statistics really matter now and what to ask about in terms of change.
Hmm. Yeah, that collaboration, that tight collaboration with the business owner is certainly a winner. I mean, you could see that as clear as day. If they're fully engaged in the process, it's much easier to communicate with them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're drawing close to the end of our discussion, but I have one last question, and I always make this the last question. So for those aspiring entrepreneurs out there who are just starting their journey, what would be your advice to them?
It's a loaded question. I like it. 2 points. One, if it's not going to work out and you can see that, be completely okay with that. And that's okay. Not everybody's meant to do this. It's not teachable. It's not a certification that you can get online. You either have it or you don't. Second, if something's not working, look at building out that personal board of directors, right? Hey, Jerry, I know you're a big business coach. I just want to get your opinion on a couple of things. Can I take you out to lunch and can we talk about X, Y, Z? We're not pushing for business from these people. We're pushing for advice, impressions, and recommendations as to who should I be talking to? What do you think I could do differently here? Any seasoned executive that you speak to in the right way, or seasoned business owner, including myself, happy to give advice or certain ideas to get you back on the right path. And that's how I build out my personal board of directors and how I would recommend it.
Fantastic. Good suggestion. Dave, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day for this discussion. Again, I'm very impressed with your business, your history behind it. It was great meeting you, learning exactly more about your entrepreneurial journey. So the big question, how can folks get in touch with you and learn much more about your business?
Yeah, we're available. If you can spell my last name, it's on LinkedIn, Dave Kryszcak. But our company website, spartandigital.com. And we're there to answer any questions or make any connections that you need.
Great, great. And I'm sure they will connect with you because you've got a great business. If you're looking for Dave's support and his company's support, definitely check him out on social media and at his website, again, Spartan Digital. To everyone watching, this is Jerry Covella, and this has been From Dreams to Reality, a Business Tale podcast. I look forward to joining you in our next episode. Dave, thank you again, my friend.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it.